If you like this video and want to see more, then please subscribe to the channel.
It's about 10% of what it was, isn't it?
Yeah. Nearly roadkill.
Nearly got it.
He obviously didn't hear you coming.
Today I'm hoping to finally fix the boom from the exhaust. Now I'll show you what I've done up to now to reduce it. I've put a lot of silent coat in the boot and that has vastly reduced it already, but it's not where it needs to be. I did another video that showed you that I put some elements up in here as well, but there was still some work to be done. So this is what I've done to actually stop it. Now, as you noticed, for whatever reason the bumper has dropped on this car, but in fact I do know the reason. So I put some foam in here which put the bumper under a little bit of pressure. As you can see, the bumper still moves a little bit, and also up inside here I've put some foam, just reduces the amount it moves. So if I now, as you can hear, that's rattling a lot, so I suspect that's the source of most of the sound. So I'm not an acoustic engineer, but I'm guessing as the sound comes out at a certain frequency, it's causing this to shake, and that's possibly a lot of the boom noise that transmits through the car. As you can see, I've removed the foam that I'd put in there to reduce the shake. See how much movement we've got. The reason that this had dropped down, it was the brackets holding the back of the bumper were broken. We've got a new one here, and that's one that I've just taken off. The bolt, although looks in very used condition, was doing its job, but as you can see, got this adjuster here and everything around it had just disintegrated. So I'm going to take off and fit these, and hopefully that will fix the issue. So I'm going to change the bumper mounts, which consists of this mount and also the gasket that goes underneath. This is located under the car, just behind where the exhaust tips are. So we need to get the exhaust tips off. I've already done that on the other side. I've actually changed it on the other side. So I'll show you the new one. I think we need some light. Oh no, I think you can see it. So you've got the bolt just here that goes through everything and hold things in place, and there's 3 further bolts just on this side as well. And so the end of the exhaust pipe is there, and it gets in the way. So the bumper mount is up in there. So this is the exhaust tip I've taken off the other side. In order to get it off, they are 5mm Allen keys. Now this exhaust tip is from the Adamesh stage 1 exhaust, but I think the original exhaust tips, certainly on mine, were 5mm Allen keys as well. So next is to undo the big bolt under there, the bigger rusty bolt. So in order to do that, you get a 19mm socket, and I've got my big long pry bar. And just give it a gentle pull, and it comes out and does quite nicely. Get the ratchet on next. spacer's still stuck in there. Okay, we'll come back to that. So the next thing is to take out one nut there and one nut there. There is one up and over the top, and I'll show you in a minute how I access that one. If this is like the other side, these are actually quite easy to undo. So that just cracked off 1/4 of a turn. You can undo it with your fingers. So if we look at the actual mount itself, what we've taken out so far is the bolt that goes through there, and we've taken out these two nuts here. The last remaining one is just there, it's up over the top. Actually, it's just down in here. So what I found on the other side, I can actually very carefully get a extension bar through there and put a socket on the other side. And what I do, I'll show you, I protect the paintwork with some tissue. You can use some rag, and I found that really very successful, so we'll give that a go. So wrap that in the tissue paper, and where you actually put it through is just a little bit further forwards, sorry, further inboard where you want to be, and you can bring it out. And then I need to get my hand up behind and put the socket on behind, and then feel my way onto the nut. Okay, so as you can see, that's now loose. All the bolts are out. Just rotate it around and it comes away. The adjuster has stayed in place there, and I don't know if you can see, along with the spacer. So I'm going to get some mole grips and see if I can just pull those out of the way. That's freeing up. There we go. So if we take a look at what we've got, that's come out of there, and just below that's the spacer that we've corroded in. So I think I'm going to get this into my media blaster along with the bolt and give it a clean up, and if they're both in good enough condition, I won't replace them, I'll just paint them and reinsert them with grease. So let's see how they come out. How long these will work? So I'm going to grease these up just a little bit, just general purpose grease. And put that back on. Now what I did find on the other side, that this spacer was actually credit to the nut, so I had to get it in a vise and just give it a tap through. But as you can see, they've all cleaned up rather nicely. So next I'm going to get this in, but I'm going to wind it all the way down. Just back it off a little bit so it doesn't get stuck. Up there still is the old gasket. Take that off. So in order to get this in, I want to make sure it's the right way up when it goes in, just so I don't have to turn it. It squeezes through just there. Again, make sure you don't trap any cables. And when you get it at the right angle, it goes in really easily. So we get the new gasket. So we get the first screw in, but don't screw it in too far. Making sure you're not trapping the gasket. So we're through the gasket. I normally just screw it in so it takes up about maybe 2 threads. Get the next one. Same thing, and then we need to go back to the top as we did before and get the socket over the top. In order to make it easier, the extension bar is actually a wobbly extension, so you can get slightly different angles. If you don't have one that's wobbly, then this part is a lot harder. Just as before, you put the socket onto the end of the extension bar and you move this in place, just feeling around the back where the head of the bolt is. Right, up in there we got the hole. So the only thing I could find that actually goes in the end to wind it up was a file, so don't follow my lead. But I'm going to wind it up now and you'll see this hopefully raise and close the gap. So that looks a lot better than before, especially from the top. You can't see the rivets anymore. Well, maybe a little. There you go. So the back end's a bit dirty. That looks a lot better than before. And there's still some movement there. And still potential to rattle. Looks like that panel rattles. See if we can make it boom. The vaguest of slight booms.